Well, there we go again. Some very late answers. It's taken a week for me to get around to it. A couple of times I looked at it, there wasn't enough questions there, and then it sort of gets off my mind, and I go and waffle off and do other things. So here we are. So sorry about those that were waiting for answers. Sorry it's taken so long to get back to you, and we'll probably do another Q&A next week sometime. So if you've got any last ones. So I think I've got, hang on, most relevant. I want all comments here. All comments. Okay. So from Alf Sinclair Don from Cape Town, did Penduic clear the last waypoint? Okay, you answered on the February 1st tracker. There you go. That's what happens when you get back to giving you the answers sometime later. So sorry about that. Tina, question about Galliano with secure satellite phone calls. Have there been any, as I keep seeing other boats' calls, but none from Galliano? Look forward to being heard and so on. Okay, so there was a gap there for 3 days where we didn't take any satellite calls because we were all travelling, but I think that finished on the 26th, so that was probably during that period when you hadn't heard any for a while. But she's in the list, and if she rings on schedule, it'll go up. So I think you will have heard a few by now. I'm leaving it to Jack to do all the satellite calls because I've got all these other things to do, and you probably get sick of me talking. So Jack's doing the calls, although I will be taking the calls after each of the boats around Cape Horn, pass on messages from people. You know, Chade Blight, our patron, is keen to get a message, and also the Cape Horners, and about time I had a chat with them, see what their experience was going around. Quite an epic achievement, so stay tuned for that. John, follow up on my question in the last Q&A. When the boats are in port and crew is making their own sail repairs on the pontoon, I think I said that's allowed as long as it isn't outside pros working on the pontoon. Yeah, that's right. The way that evolved is they wanted to get their sails off to dry them out and sort them out, and we don't mind that because they're doing all the work themselves. So they can take them onto the pontoon if there's space available. It's a bit challenging here, but they may still do the same. But they got to do all the work themselves, generally speaking. You know, there's a bit of a fudge factor there. Can the crew use their sewing machines? Yes, they can, and they do. Galliano's got a sewing machine. One of the others has got a sewing machine, so they do that on the boat, and we've allowed them on a couple of occasions to take the machine off and put it on the dock. Could they rent a sewing machine from someone in the port if that is allowed and use them on the pontoon? No, they couldn't because it doesn't pass the pub test. There's some things that are basically, you can go to the nth degree, and say, can they do that? And what if they didn't plug into the power and blah, 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 the idea is to stop them, getting out of hand with what goes on. So if they wanted to come and hire a machine to do it, we'd probably say no. They need to get themselves organised, and if they carry a machine, it's up to them to do that. So, but you don't write that in the notice of race because you can't conceive every situation. This chair's falling apart here. Hang on a minute. I'm about to do a backflip. So we keep it simple. So no renting machines, big industrial machines and stuff. Thanks, John. It's fantastic coverage. All cool. Geez, I didn't know you were a non-sailor, John. I thought you were a sailor. Anyway, that's all kind of fun. Joe Black, hi Don. I put this in the Q&A, but it seems to have been missed. First of all, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude. Thanks, Joe. I have a question with a hoping you can answer. Apologies, not about the OGR. It's regarding the GGR. Okay. I remember you mentioned a plan to compile a roundup of all the competitors focusing on their systems, performance, what worked, what didn't, and what they might do differently. Has this roundup been published yet? No, it hasn't. And in fact, I'll pass that over to Seb. You'll remember Seb from the GGR. He wanted to write a book about solo sailing systems. And he asked me if I'd give him approval to base it around the GGR. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And then I suggested to him that we were going to do that big survey of all of the systems they're using, equipment they're using, how things performed and how things they didn't. And so I suggested to him, I said, look, why don't we jointly work on that questionnaire, and then we will officially send it to all the entrants and get them to respond, and then I'll give it back to Seb to actually publish that report, which is better than just doing it as a by the way thing. So you may see that come up. It could take a year to do it. It takes a while to write the book. So he's not writing the book about the GGR, but he is writing an intro because Seb's a pretty cool sailor. writing a book about about shorthanded sailing systems, not just in the GGR, but it's focusing on the way some things were done in the GGR, and it will have the big questionnaire and survey from all the entrants, and he can freely publish that. So keep an eye out for that. During the visit to MDL, you mentioned encountering significant issue with MDL. Could you provide more details about these challenges? No, some of that's commercially sensitive. In every relationship, there's always challenges, but we're about to make an announcement in the next couple of days about OGR and finishing in UK. So we go from there. But we were very happy to be at Ocean Village. It was a fantastic send-off, and we were very happy to be in the UK. We had an anonymous benefactor that paid for the host fee to get us over there, and sadly they weren't able to continue that association. And so we didn't get the host fee to finish in the UK. So we'll, as I say, we'll make an announcement in the next couple of days. So there have been several complaints about access management on the marina. Are there any plans to address these issues in the upcoming Southampton stopover? We'll wait until you see the announcement on the first few days of next week. Next one is, I'm curious about the navigational strategies used in the GGR and the OGR. In the GGR, no-go zones were marked as block areas, whereas the OGR waypoint system was used. Could you share the reasoning behind the changes and whether it will be applied in the next GGR? Well, the reason we use waypoints for OGR is the boats are much bigger, much faster, much more manoeuvrable. And so they freely have the ability to dip down in between a waypoint and come back up and make the most of the weather during that slot. Now, the GGR boats are not the same type of boats. They are very clearly a lot slower. They're manned by one person. And so the issue of if they decided to dip down and do that, they might get caught out down there and then they're in real trouble. And the whole idea of the zones for the GGR is to keep the boats up high in case they get into difficulties, and the rescue coordination centres may need to become involved with assets required to go down and all those issues. So I doubt whether we will use the same for the GGR. I think we'll still leave it as a hard line, and it's up to the entrants to deal with that the best way they see fit. We may move the lines a little bit, and we may alter a couple other course issues, but we'll decide that again during this year, based on our experience with OGR. Anyway, so it's can't give you a hard answer, but we review everything. Everything's reviewed, and contrary to what people think, we very rarely, if ever, change any of the rules once we're underway, once the race starts. So many people, even interested, I always change the rules. We never do. All we do is clarify if someone's confused, and we hold the line. We very rarely change any rules once the event has started. So that's a popular misconception. I'm not saying we don't do it, but it's extremely rare. Thanks for that, Fred. I know it's a bit early, but can they let the Falklands to starboard? Yeah, they can do whatever they want. The rounding mark is Cape Horn, and then after that, you can go through Stretcher de la Mer. There's a little stretch there. It has big tidal currents going one way or the other and so on, but they can do that, or they can go whichever side they want of the Falklands. It's entirely up to them. So, Jeff, g'day, Don. Posted this after a previous Q&A, so many may have been missed, not directly related to the OGR, but it does involve me. Oh, the attached photo from the Royal Squadron. Okay, Royal South Australian Yacht Squadron, which I understood correctly were part of some years ago. Yeah, I was a long-time member there. That was the first club I joined when I was in my teens. I wasn't even able to skip on my boat. I was building a Duncanson 29 at the time, and I think I was too young to actually manoeuvre it in the pool. So then I was a member there for 25 years, even though I was never living in Adelaide again. My parents were there, but I kept travelling, and so I did that to support the club to a degree. They had a good youth training program and so on. And then when we settled in Tasmania, I slowly let that lapse. So I was a member in the squadron for 25 years. And yes, that's my BOC boat, Buttercup, which started off as Sponsor Wanted. They had the big, you can see the name down the side and even the phone number. But by the time we'd sailed halfway around the world back to Sydney, I finally got a sponsor, which was Buttercup Bakeries, part of the Goodman Fielder Waddy Group. And so it changed to Buttercup. And I was flying the Squadron Virgie. I was a member of the squadron. I won the Communicators Award. No, I won I won an award from the squadron, jeepers. Okay, that's the end of that seat. I'll pull the other one in. Yes, it's a cane seat. That one just failed. That would have been good. That would have been live, legs in the air, because I've got shorts on. It's got undies on. Anyway, that's fine. That feels a lot better. So that was me on the boat. I built and that was at was it Northbridge? No, yeah, I think it was Northbridge where that photo was taken. I had Tim Edkins was my boat manager then, from another guy from Adelaide. He came over, and it was an amazing story. The whole BOC thing's quite a big deal for me. It was 8 years of planning preparation before I finally got around, and had a lot of help from a lot of people. The internet didn't exist at the time. I mean, I could go on about it a lot, but it brings back huge memories. In fact, I forgot. I've been to the club a few times, in recent years, with different things, and I don't think I saw that picture. Oh, the youth trophy. That's what it was. It was. I won a youth trophy, not young youth. It was a boat called Youth with a really interesting guy, crazy guy that sailed around the world and put up a trophy. And we ended up meeting him. He was in Tasmania at the time. Long story, too many stories to think about. But and Captain Coconut, yes, he's a member of the squadron. We're both from Adelaide. That's my hometown. See more. Rob, is it Rob James? That's currently on the boat. He's from Adelaide as well. He was doing a solo non-stop, but joined our crew on Explorer. So all kind of fun. But anyway, hope that answers your question there. Warren, just makes a plug for Paul Cayard's reports. They really are good. Paul Cayard is ambassador for Translated 9 and doing great reports. He's a very experienced guy. In fact, we got to edit the clip. He had a chat at the reunion with Earl Williams, another Whitbread vet, during the Veterans reunion in Auckland. It was fantastic. He just turned up in time and came up and did this impromptu talk about their experiences. And Paul is an amazing guy, super friendly. I'd never met him before personally. I knew all about him until we got involved with he got involved with the OGR. And great guy, great ambassador for Translated, and he does very interesting weekly reports. In fact, I might plug it again here. So, okay, that's it. There's a short, sharp, sweet one. I don't think there's any comments here that I need to look at. I'll just have a quick squiz in case someone's got another comment. Carl, thanks. Still following when I can from South Carolina. Good on you, Carl. Thanks, John. Haven't sailed since college, 45 years ago. Okay, you know enough to answer the right questions. I thought you were a sailor. Anyway, g'day, Kathleen. John, someone to keep a weather eye out for Scotland. Yeah, cool. As fast as the OGR boats. Yeah, absolutely. I nearly fell off my chair. I thought I was going down then. And as I said, you'd laugh because I haven't got any pants on. Well, I have, but it's me undies, because it's quite warm out here at the moment. It's quite warm. Great to listen to all the war stories. Oh, I could go on forever. In fact, I should do a live one day. I should just do a live. I'll try and how can we do this? I could do a live and people could ask me silly questions about anything you want. Anyway, we'll see. Trying to get more people watching by mentioning OGR on the other sailing sites. Good on you, Jonathan. Yeah, I should. We haven't done any. We don't boost posts. We don't pay for advertising. We don't do bits and pieces. But the story's out there, and we've got a loyal following of bits and pieces. So that's it. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'll put some more question Q&A up next week sometime, and we'll after we make the announcement next week. So we'll see you again soon. See you later. Thank you.